Hello and welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball. Today is January 18th, 2023. I'm Carl James, joined tonight by Cassidy Palmer among our group. We also have a very special guest, a graduate student pitcher for the Hoosiers, Gabe Levy. Gabe, welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball.
Thanks for having me.
So, Gabe, what led you to come over to IU?
I put myself in the portal last year in the fall just because I knew I'd be leaving Davidson. Davidson did not have graduate school, so kind of had to leave. So after I was in the portal, Coach Glant, Coach Simmons both reached out to me to kind of discuss me and possibly coming to IU. And as I talked to Glant more and more, and kind of they gave me a feel of how the program is run, day to day, the development. It seemed clear that IU was the best place for me to get better and develop.
In your mind, when you first came to IU, was there a specific part of your pitching game or repertoire that you were looking to grow as you kind of take the step into a Power 5 program?
Yeah, I know it's kind of low hanging fruit, but I really felt like I needed to and wanted to increase the velocity a little bit. I've kind of always been more of a command guy with a few pitches, so I wanted to, increase the velocity to kind of get me to that next level, and I was able to do that a little bit in the fall. So as we're ramping up back into the spring, we'll see what it ends up actually being. But I think we made a lot of good progress with that goal. So
you've served in multiple roles and kind of you started at the back end. You spent some time as a starter, went back to the back end. How did that progression go, and how did you develop as a pitcher over those 4 years?
Came in as a freshman. Obviously everybody wants to start, but I didn't quite earn a starting role my freshman year. And so they ended up putting me as a closer mostly, which was a ton of fun. Closing is so much fun, just because you kind of get to come in, you get to throw the last pitch of the game, win the game for your team at the end. So that's always fun. I made a few starts my freshman year too, just kind of spot starts when someone went down, or maybe during the middle of the week. So I got a little experience doing that in college. We graduated all of our whole weekend my freshman year, so they had to replace the whole weekend. So I ended up being a starter the next year, and then the year after that, so sophomore and junior year. I started a lot in high school. Did a little bit of relieving, but mostly started a lot in high school. So that was pretty familiar still. So it wasn't a huge transition in that respect. And then going back to the bullpen senior year, again, that was something I did all freshman year. So very familiar with it. And again, both starting and relieving are both fun in their own ways. So it was an interesting progression. I guess not typical, going from closing to starting back to closing, but no, it was good. So
And I saw that you're a data science guy. What led you toward the data science area?
Yeah, I even like before college, like in high school and middle school even, I was always a little bit better at math than I was at other stuff. I can't memorize things very well, so history or biology or stuff like that was not going to be good for me. So I did math, and I majored in math and minored in data science in undergrad at Davidson. But I'm kind of starting to do the more practical stuff versus the theory stuff. So I wanted to kind of go towards data science. And I also, once my playing career is over, one of two things I might want to do. So I either want to be coaching or possibly doing data analytics in baseball, or find some place where I could honestly do a little bit of both would be great. And there's a lot of positions where that's going to start being the case. So just get me where I wanted to go. It was data science was going to be the best, as well as it kind of meshes the computer programming and the statistics that are both interest me, and kind of meshes them together. So it's very interesting.
And have you had a chance to play with the variety of data sources that the program utilizes?
I have not. I know I know Denton does a phenomenal job of doing all the data stuff for us. And I've talked with him a bunch of times about just like, oh, what kind of system do you use? And, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? As far as like when it came to my own work, or just like out of curiosity, just like pick his brain about, just like how he does things, but also able to pick his brain about kind of the industry. But, so I haven't played around with any of the data sources. I try to be a player at the field,
Yes.
for sure, and put my work towards that. But I'm definitely, at some point, for my master's, I might have to do an independent study or something, and I would definitely prefer to do that with possibly data that we get from Indiana baseball, which would be super fun, because I could do something that's interesting, as well as maybe it'll hopefully help the program with whatever I did. So
Obviously you're looking to try to extend that baseball career, but kind of long term, 10 years from now, what do you kind of see yourself doing? What would be your ideal setup there?
Yeah, I mean, so I want to play baseball until someone says you can't. So I mean, hopefully it's still going on in 10 years. That'd be phenomenal. If I'm doing that, then I'm doing that. If I'm not doing that, again, I'm gonna try to start in the data analytics world. And then if that's going well, I'll keep doing that. And if I'm kind of wishing I was doing coaching, then I'll maybe make that transition into coaching. But I think I'll probably start in the data analytics world, just because I feel like that's a good foundation to start with. So, and again, there's a lot of positions, both in pro baseball, and I'm sure once it starts in pro baseball, it's going to leak down into college too. But people are wanting people that can do both the coaching and the data stuff. And so that would be great, where I can still be on the field, but also using my data knowledge every day. So.
And now looking forward to this upcoming season, what are some personal goals that you have?
I do tend to set goals. I haven't thought as much about them yet, but it's definitely going to be a lot of different environments, bigger environments that I'm used to, for sure. So I just kind of staying me would be huge. I don't want to let the moment kind of influence me. So just kind of staying true to how I pitch and how I do things. I always staying healthy is always huge, throughout a whole season. I don't know what my role is going to be yet. So whether I'm starting or relieving, or so it's hard to make goals based on that yet, but I just want to make the best out of whatever opportunities I'm given. So I know that when you're given opportunities at somewhere like Indiana, and you take advantage of them and do well, then you tend to be able to get where you want to go. So
You mentioned earlier that you kind of built your career at Davidson quite a bit on control and locating pitches. And obviously the statistics back that up. I think there's like almost 4-1 your strikeout to walk rate. One of those things that IU has kind of been looking for, because that was a struggle for this program last year. How has the program worked for you, maintaining those skills and kind of improving?
Yeah, I mean, we work on command stuff every day. The pitchers play game of 21, which is like a target. You get points for hitting certain targets on the body. We play that with all of our pitches, fastballs, off speed, breaking balls. So we play that with all of those. So it works on command daily. Whether you're throwing a bullpen or not, you're working on command. And we get off the mound a lot, almost every day. So again, you're working on command there again, even if it's a recovery day, you still might be on the mound throwing, a little bit lighter intent, but you're still, hitting spots, throwing all your pitches. So it's just, you're just getting used to setting your sights on a spot and hitting that spot. So, with certain pitches or certain locations, I'm always still trying to improve that. And it's a great thing is you don't have to sacrifice trying to improve your velocity to improve your command. You can improve them both at the same time. So that's just what I've been trying to do.
Are there any games or series that you're particularly looking forward to, whether it's the opponent, the environment?
I know, like, right away, the first weekend at Auburn is going to be a bigger environment than I've ever played in. So that'll be super fun, as well as the next weekend at Texas. But, the first time whenever it is that the first time I pitch at home, that's going to be a lot of fun, having the fans kind of behind my back there. I've got a couple friends on a couple of the opponents that we play, so it'll be fun to play them. Just, it's always nice to see people that, from the baseball world. And, I've been around a little bit longer, so I know a few more people too. A couple family members that might come out to some away games. That'll be fun. I'll play my first kid that I know from the Northwest. We'll play him first weekend. He's playing for Auburn. So he's a pitcher for Auburn. He used to be a pitcher for Notre Dame, and he's a graduate student too. So I'll play him. That'll be my first person I've played from the Northwest. And then I've got a buddy on Georgetown that was at Davidson with me. He graduated with me.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see him as well. But
yep. And that'll be at East Carolina, right?
Yeah, that'll be in that little tournament at East Carolina.
And with moving from Davidson to a large university like IU, have there been any favorite kind of off the field, maybe social events or things like that you've really enjoyed?
Yeah. So it's definitely different being at a humongous school like Indiana versus Davidson, which is tiny. There's only 2,000 students that go there. So a couple off the field, like I enjoy going to the IU Hillel, the Jewish organization. I'll go there for Friday night services and dinner sometimes, just kind of meet everybody. They've actually got like a little sports wall with a bunch of pictures of different athletes. So there's some baseball players up there. There's even a window, like a stained glass window that says like donated by Bart Kaufman, which is kind of funny. So I've done that. Outside of that, just hanging out with the guys is always fun. That doesn't necessarily change place to place. It's always fun hanging out with your teammates off the field in a non-baseball setting. Getting to chat about non-baseball things is always a good time. Other than that, kind of school and baseball, takes up a lot of your life, but and in between trying to get your recovery in, but yeah, those are the couple of the social things I've done. So those are good.
Yeah. Although you are new, you're very experienced on a pitching staff that has a lot of youth to it. Have you tried to establish a leadership role among the pitching staff, the pitchers that are there?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, for sure. I'm not necessarily like a force my way into it kind of guy, but when it happens organically, I'll share just what I've learned over the years. especially some of the freshmen that, they're brand new. They, haven't played a real college game yet. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll speak to them if I see something, or I see that they're struggling with something.
So what general expectations are there surrounding the team coming into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think like everybody, like every team, we try to refrain from holding results-based expectations, like, oh, we expect to win this many games or score this many runs a game or hold opponents to, however many hits a game. Just because those are kind of uncontrollable things. But I think everybody expects everybody to play extremely hard and compete extremely hard. It's a standard, but also I think we all believe that everybody on our team will go out and do that. So, and I guess that's, really all I can do is do that, and also stick with what you've practiced and lean on the training we've all done all year. So as long as we do that, we've got the talent and the ability to win a lot of games if we compete extremely hard. So
have you at all changed your pitch assortment, or have you added a pitch since you've come to IU?
No, my pitches are all exactly the same, same grips, but I'm definitely using them differently. Coach Glantz shown me that, hey, you can use, this pitch in this situation, that pitch in that situation. Like, barely threw any curveballs before, so we're throwing a lot more of those to try to get strikes early in the count. So yeah, I mean, it's just I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get going. It's right around the corner. You can smell it. So I'm just super excited to get on the mound.
Well, excellent. And of course, we're very, very much looking forward to seeing you pitch and seeing the team take the field. Cass and I and the rest of our crew will be down in Auburn for that opening weekend. So we're really looking forward to seeing you guys play.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad you guys are making that trek. So
yes.
Well, that will do it for this edition of Talking Hoosier Baseball. We again want to really thank Gabe Levy. Gabe, thank you so much for coming on the show and introducing yourself to us and the Indiana fans. Again, we're really, really looking forward to a very successful season. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
All right. For Cassidy Palmer, I'm Carl James. See you at the BART.